Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the threads, and you are now home with Dodgers Nation and Jim Beam. Drink responsibly. King! That is the king.
Yes, sir.
That is the king of Los Angeles. Doug McCain, DMac_LA on all the social spots. You haven't got the threads yet, right? You're not. You're still still a hater.
I have it soft opening though.
Oh, Doug is softly on threads, so go follow him on there. Doug, we didn't get a chance to do a show on Monday because of technical issues. I think we've got them straightened out tonight. We finally get to talk baseball. Otherwise, we've never talked to each other once in our life. How are you doing, guy?
Talking Dodger baseball with you, Clint. It's the highlight of my week. I need my vitamin C. Got the second half of the season. The trade rumors are starting to percolate. This, to me, is like Christmas and Halloween and Easter all rolled into one. A very exciting time of year, Mr. Clint.
We got trade rumors we'll talk a little bit about. Of course, this guy's already going hard in the paint on all the trades, all the latest things going on with your Los Angeles Dodgers. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit the bell, leave a like, comment on everything. Take Dodgers Nation to where do you want to go? Somewhere everybody knows your name.
200K.
Actually, that's right. We're trying to get to 900 million subscribers, and we got a long way to go. But on today's show, beyond trade rumors, we got to talk about the latest things that have happened for the Dodgers on this Thursday off day, the final off day before the start of the second half of the season. The Dodgers signed a no-good, dirty cheater from the Astros. There's a Ryan Pepio sighting. That's pretty cool. There's other stuff going on. Plus, let's finally talk first half grades. Let's get it out of the way. MVP, all that kind of stuff. And we'll look ahead at what is shaping up to be a pretty tough schedule to open the second half of the season. So we're going to get into comments and all that. DJ producer Cody's on the board. He's going to be looking for the best comments. And, of course, he's keeping an eye out for that Hornito shot taker of the day. Beyond that, we got to I want to tell you guys about the Dodgers Nation app. It's the best time to download it, put it on your phone. We're on the Android. We're on the Apple Store. Go get that Dodgers Nation app, the DN app. It's in all your spots. Search Dodgers or search Dodgers Nation, but that's the best way to make sure you're staying up with the team all the time. We have all our articles going on there. The videos are going up there. The store's there if you want to help support us, all that kind of stuff. Dodgers Nation app, search it in the App Store. Thank Doug later. But let's get into the news. Yes, Dodgers have signed outfielder Jake Marisnick. It's funny how long this dude has been in the league. He's been in the league for a hot minute. Is this? I know you already did a video.
Super chat.
I know you already did a video on the Marisnick, so give me some thoughts, and then I'll talk about Marisnick.
I haven't really taken a deep dive into it. I mean, my initial thoughts, we kind of have to start. You have to start. We'll get into what he is as a player at this stage of his career. Can he actually help? What this means with Jonny DeLuca, Miguel Vargas, other guys, the outfield picture. But you can't not mention he was on the 2017 Astros, and we saw what happened with White. We saw what happened with some of these other players. And this is a guy, if you look at the bang percentage, the percentage of times he benefited from the bang, J.D. Davis was at the top at 28.6%. Jake Marisnick was second at 22.8%. So he benefited from the bang more. If you look at his numbers, this is a guy that, hey, it's very interesting. He's been pretty much awful his entire career, but the 1 year he was suspiciously good with a 117 weighted runs created plus, where he had 16 home runs, happened to be 2017. Well, what happened that season, Clint? I mean, little cheating action, but yeah, I mean, getting into it as a player, we'll talk about that, but it just doesn't sit right just right now, trying to just digesting the fact that we have a 2017 Astro on our team. I just don't love that.
Not a fan. You don't want to have the bad guys. Also played for the Padres at one point. I understand why they would do it, and yeah, whatever the thing is a long time ago. I fully do believe in getting over it, getting past the damn thing. The reason I don't like him is he's not good. And even his, quote, good year is pretty bad. He hit his career high in average was like 240 or whatever across more than just a handful of games, I think, in 2020. Not a great signing, but what does it mean for the roster? I just dropped an article on our DodgersNation.com. That's where all the articles are at, so go check that out. And also on InsideTheDodgers.com, part of the Sports Illustrated Network. To me, the obvious answer is, all right, well, we're trying to figure out where to put this guy, what his role is going to be to start. The Dodgers just optioned Miguel Vargas, and we didn't get a chance to talk about that together yet. How are you doing, buddy? I know this is a hard one for you.
I'm in Spain without the S, man, hurting for my boy Mickey Varg. But the same token, like I said in the video I did, he's 23 years old, less than 400 plate appearances. There's still time for him to realize that potential. But this is a byproduct of that. When your highly touted prospect, the best hitting prospect in your organization, doesn't pan out despite a very long runway, you're going to start to see moves like this. You're going to start to see them look around for a way to help this team any way they can. So, yeah, Miguel Vargas, will he get another opportunity this season? Maybe he does. Most likely he doesn't. But really, for him, it's about getting that confidence back in his swing because it was at a low when he went down. Look, the reality was, for rookies with a minimum of 300 plate appearances, F-WAR-wise, batting average-wise, he was not one of the worst. He was the worst. So, look, you know me. I bring my facts to the fight. Even though, I was smitten with Mickey Vargas early. He was a guy that wanted to see him have success because, look, the reason why I fight for some of these younger players is because I realize that to have sustainable winning, you need to hit on these prospects. If you don't, you can't go out there. Just ask the New York Mets. You cannot buy your team. I saw what you retweeted today about the farm system and drafting players. Who was last on that list? The New York Mets.
New York Mets.
You got to hit on these guys, and we're going to have to hit on some of these guys in the future. But, yeah, it definitely hurts. But kind of getting back to Marisnick, just kind of as a player, I mean, his best case scenario is you're getting a guy with above average defense, always really had great defense, good to great defense, solid defense. A guy can contribute with his glove, but also above average speed. As a bat, though, he's a below average hitter. And really, at this stage of his career, he's a fifth outfielder on a pretty much a bad team. So a little bit of a head scratch and kind of goes to prove that even the rich people can shop at the 99-cent store sometime.
Hey. Mash that thumbs up button for D-Max spitting here. This is the new Trace Thompson. He is going to start in center field, or he's going to start in the outfield when there's a left-handed pitcher on the mound. I think the Vargas move pretty much spells Mookie Betts' future for the rest of the season. 80% of the games, if not more, is going to be on the infield, while the three lefty swinging outfielders will be in the outfield against a right-handed pitcher. But in this case, to maximize the amount of right-handed bats they have available against a left-handed pitcher, you're probably going to see Marisnick playing some right field or playing some left. Of course, Chris Taylor is expected to be back. We haven't heard if there's any bad updates or anything that happened during the final couple games of his rehab. He did hit a homer. He took a walk, I think, while playing shortstop at Single A Rancho on Sunday, and that was the last time I believe he played in an actual game because everybody's been off. So CT will be back. He's going to take the Vargas spot, and this really, the Marisnick thing it's twofold. You're getting a veteran in place of Jonny DeLuca, and you're letting Jonny DeLuca go down and actually get at bats because he has been barely getting any playing time. It's just not a good role for a rookie. It's not a good role to just sit on the bench and rookie. So do you like Jake Marisnick on the team? A cheater? No, but I would rather have a cheater waste away on the bench than a potentially decent rookie down the road wasting away.
Yeah, when you get past the whole Astros thing, you kind of understand the move in that, if DeLuca is not going to get the at-bats to develop and grow, then you have to make a move from that standpoint. And look, let's be honest. If he doesn't have those ties with the Astros, defensively, that's where he hangs his hat, a 24.5 ultimate zone rating. You're talking about a guy 53 outs above average. Someone has 81 defensive run saves for his career. Defensively, those are impressive marks. Yeah. But is he going to have an impact with the stick? Probably not. But I think what this does say to me is we're starting to put the kids to bed. You already saw that with Miguel Vargas being set down. You saw that with DeLuca. If there are kids that can help, Bobby Miller types, you need them from the pitching standpoint, we'll use them. But at this point, it feels like that evaluation period, that assessment period from early in the year is kind of coming to an end. And it's good news for James Outman that he picked it up towards the end there, or he might have been another one of the odd men out. And also, you look at Mookie Betts on the dirt. Look at this outfield picture. You got Outman, Peralta, Hayward pretty much on most days, and you're going to probably see him in that mix. So you don't love that from an outfield production standpoint. No high-dollar outfielders that, other than David Peralta and Jason Hayward and James Outman during spurts of the season, that you can really count on. But my big concern is we get closer to the end of the season, do David Peralta and Jason Hayward come back to life and start to stabilize a little bit? I mean, Peralta's been on such a tear of late. You would think that he has to
come back down to earth.
Yeah, come back to the earth a little bit. So I think that might be a little bit of a concern.
Yeah, the way they're hitting is a bit unsustainable, but we'll just pretend like that's not going to happen and put on a happy face and everything's going to be good and Dodgers win it all.
Yeah, and exactly. No, look. And also, too, I mean, look, this guy, the Mets, the Cubs, the Padres, the Pirates, the White Sox, the Tigers, this guy's been passed around more times than a blunt. I mean, this guy has seen so many teams at this point that's usually telling when it comes to a player's value. When you're on so many different teams, that really says how this league feels about you. But I wanted to ask you about, just not doing on too big of a tangent here, what do we see in the offseason? The Carlos Correa thing, and when the Dodgers were trying to come out and say, oh, we didn't feel comfortable with the fact that we had Carlos Correa on this team because of his ties with the Astros, that was a bunch of baloney. It was because it wasn't at the right price. Yes, Carlos Correa is hitting like 225 this year, which isn't bad for a guy with one leg, but still, I mean, you look at that had nothing to do with it. The Dodgers are always looking at who can help us win. And look, I think also, too, this is a domino that's falling that is going to lead to a bigger move. It shows you that the process is beginning. It shows you that they're not just going to sit around and develop these rookies. They are trying to push those chips in and win this season. And that, to me, is really my biggest takeaway from this move.
Yeah, you took your liberties 3.5 months to see what the next wave was going to provide to this team for a potential playoff run. Didn't provide all that much. Pitching side, been great. Outman, if he is not on, not in the lineup with, and Jimmy Outman's been on a bit more of a, let's just say, not a cold streak. But as long as he's not in the lineup that also has Austin Barnes and Miguel Vargas and Miguel Rojas, even though Rojas have been decent enough, as long as you don't have 4 guys that basically can't hit in a single lineup, you're in a good, you're at least you're feeling better. But this is not going to be the roster that enters the postseason. If Marisnick is still around, either something went really well or something went really bad in LA. But the trade deadline is less than 3 weeks away, and we know they're on the phone for starting pitching. Yeah. Guys, check out the videos this guy's done on the rumors so far. We got Giolito talk. We got Shane Bieber talk. I'm hoping to see some Cardinals talk out of you because there's some.
If they deal, there's definitely some names out there. But
they said they are.
They
the
are.
Cards
When have you ever seen an executive like that come out and say,
he's like, hey, we're
going to be dealing? I mean, really, possibly other than Goldschmidt, Arenado, who has that no trade clause, but of course you could waive that. Yeah, maybe they could start doing some deals. But yeah, I think it's important for Dodger fans to realize that, hey, Marisnick, this is the move to do cartwheels down 1,000 Vince Scully Avenue. This is not that move. We're talking about a guy below average bat, 82 way runs created plus, a guy that's pretty much a .1 WAR player essentially. This is not even the appetizer. This is not even the water when you get to the restaurant, right? This is nothing of the sort. So, yeah, it's a move that we'll see how it plays out. And like I said, the biggest indicator to me is that they're hard at work. And, hey, you're already starting to see the names surface in big-name starting pitchers. So I'm very excited with how this season looks like it's going to pan out. It looks like this offense, we're going to talk about in a second, looks like this pitching staff has proven that, hey, they are good enough to go for it this season. That's definitely what this really tells me.
Cody, give me some stuff, man.
Well, first, we're going to start off with a super chat.
Oh, wait. White people clap. Noah, clap. There it is. My guy.
Shout out to Lori.
One time.
Shout out to Lorio $9.99 to help you pay for your DSL dial-up or whatever you guys are using, and
T1.
to get that 2017 cheater off the team.
Lori,
shout out to you
thank you for the super chat, $9.99, and I am feeling fine. And we're trying to figure out the internet. It's been a world of issues for us in the last week.
Some other comments. I think this is about the Marisnick signing. Nando390 said Dodgers grade for dumpster diving is always A+.
Yeah.
And then you guys talked about Miguel Vargas earlier. Miggy will be a superstar, but a season after we trade him like always. We must all forget what happened in 17. We actually need players, cheaters or not. We need them. DKM said that. A lot of Ohtani talk. I'm sure something. There's a guy named Shohei apparently that.
Sure.
Shohei Ohtani.
Show me the Shohei.
Show me the Shohei.
Show me the way.
There's also some talk about. There's just a lot going on in the chat right now. Flaherty and Giolito will be elite for their hometown. Only a matter of time before Vargas was sent down.
What is that? Westlake's best, finest. What are we going with? Harvard Westlake. At their best. If you had your choice, and we'll probably dive into it more. If you're picking Flaherty, Giolito, or let's say Stroman, who are you going with?
Out of those three, that's interesting. I think this year, the way he's missing barrels and limiting soft contact, I almost think you want to go Marcus Stroman just because of the year he's having. Giolito, he's been very solid of late. I mean, you're going to get a sub-4 ERA pitcher, and he posts. He's like 7th in innings pitched. Last outing, 7 innings, a guy that can get you double-digit strikeouts. So, yeah, both those guys would be fine. I think the way Stroman is pitching this year, it feels almost a little bit like an outlier season, like he's playing above his capabilities. But I do like the hometown narrative. Harvard, Westlake. I mean, we're talking about a school that only Noah could afford to go to Harvard Westlake. It's like $50,000 a year to go to Harvard Westlake. I mean, but yeah, I think if you look at Syndergaard, I mean, if you look at Giolito, you look at Stroman, you look at, did you say Jack Flaherty?
Yeah, Flaherty.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Flaherty, yeah, he's a guy that's like you want him to be better than he really is. But out of those two, I would probably rank it Stroman, Giolito, but I think they're going to get Giolito. I really truly believe they're going to go with a package deal with Giolito unless another starter becomes available. And we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I do really like Giolito when I look at him because this team does not need an A+ starting pitcher. They don't need an elite guy. I mean, what they say, C's get you degrees, right? You need basically B-, B+, a guy that can go out there and give you 14 of his 19 starts this year have been at least 6 innings or more. So I think I trust Giolito. He's a guy who's entering a contract here. So, yeah, that's interesting. Stroman's Twitter game, though. I don't know how that would play up. We saw last time we had a Twitter guy here.
I'm pretty sure he's going to find you. For that take and saying that he's pitching above his pay grade and or his capabilities, and
he's just due for a little regression, man. He truly is.
Local Dodger analyst slammed for Marcus Stroman take, and Dodgers analyst says
if we
Dodgers
get Stroman, I'm going to wear a
getting...
do-rag under my hat for the rest of all the starts.
Let's just go ahead and
I'm going to do that.
Just cut that. Again, I got Dodgers Insider says okay all the way. Bring me Giolito, eh? To LA.
Unless there's other names out there, I think he's definitely the name.
Well, I'm actually going to have this comment be the Hornito shot taker.
Hornito
shot taker comment of the show, because this is a heady take by Serious Drama here. It says, we are not World Series contenders. We need to sell.
Oh.
That's interesting. I do not know a single person that would say the same thing.
I don't think sell. World Series contenders, we've seen worse teams go all the way.
You spelled Padres wrong. That's what I'm going to say to that.
Max.
Okay.
It's about getting the right group of dudes hot at the right time. We saw that with the Nationals in 19. I don't know if that was a better team. Yeah, they were able to. Steven Strasburg gave his damn shoulder to do that. Scherzer, much younger than, could hold his liquor and then still go work out the next day. He gave everything he could to get that title, but there wasn't anybody like exciting. They didn't have Harper anymore. Soto was still a rookie. Trey Turner, we learned, he's not a superstar. He's not that guy that puts butts in the seats. Anthony Rendon, he was a very good player. The Angels would love him to come back at some point in time and be a human being again. You had the final minutes of Ryan Zimmerman. Like, that was not a great team, but it was a good group. And we've heard the Dodgers talk about this a lot. That was weird. Did anybody else hear that? Oh, is that something falling? Okay. It sounded like it was in my damn headphones. Anyways, these Dodgers have talked about this group of guys in the clubhouse and how, like, hearing the way Freddie's talking about how they are playing for each other. And yeah, what else is he going to say? He's not going to be like, no, this is a really, really bad team. But yeah, I put my faith in Freddie Freeman, and amongst the other folks that are saying, hey, this is a pretty good group of guys. Don't sleep on this team. Just need some pitching.
I mean, you're talking about a franchise that has a payroll north of $230 million. I've got news for you. This team is 100% not selling. You look at this offense, one of the best in the league across the board. Talking about an offense that ranks second in home runs, walks, third in OPS, fourth in runs scored. They're one of the best clutch hitting teams in the league, 2-out hitting teams. When you have an offense that's that potent, I'll tell you this offense is better than the offense last year. It's built for postseason success, especially with JD Martinez. And what was the point of hitting on all these one-year deals in JD Martinez, in David Peralta? We know Thor's been a thud so far, but offensively, those guys have worked out. Jason Hayward on a minor league deal. And I think you brought up the best point, too, was the intangibles. Sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle as far as team chemistry. I've been around these guys a little bit. No comparison with this team and any team that I've been around in the past. The camaraderie, the chemistry that this team has, it's off the charts. After work, they're not going their separate ways. They're going to the bar, and they're sitting there hanging out, right? I'm not saying that literally. I'm saying figuratively. They're the kind of coworkers that do that. They hang out, right? They go to each other's parties. They go to each other's events. And I think This is, you got The Last Dance. This is a one dance. This is like prom senior year for this team, right? You get one chance at it because you are not going to have a group with JD Martinez, with Jason Hayward. Yeah, of course, we all went Shohei Ohtani. I say Shohei Ohtani prayers. I'm not even a joke. I actually do that. I say pray that we get Shohei Ohtani every day. But we could sign him. He get injured the first game, right?
Yeah.
Anytime that you can get close, you have to go for it. And this team isn't as far away as some might think. The Braves, they're a really good team. The Rays, they're a really good team. A lot of good teams out there, but there are no unbeatable teams. And I think you brought the best point too. You make a couple of trades that we saw, David Freese. They brought in Manny Machado in 2018. You get that little boost. Even we saw it in 21 when they get Max Scherzer and you got Trey Turner, the boost that they had. They almost caught the Giants. They won 106 games that year. So I got news for you. This team isn't trading. My final point, though, on that take, too, is if you were to trade a JD Martinez or let's say a Julio Urias, who's going to be a free agent, or a David Peralta, yes, they do have guys that if you're on a bad team like the Padres or a team like that they would make sense to trade, but this is the Dodgers. They can get any prospect and develop them into top 10 prospects. They have 9 top 100 prospects right now in their organization, so they're not hurting for prospects right now. They don't need to do that, so they're not selling. Let's go for it.
We've seen them go and pull prospects. That's how they went and got Josiah Gray. They went and got damn, I had the other Jeter Downs. Turned them into some important trade pieces, including Mookie Betts. One last note about the idea. So the reason I asked you those 3 pitchers, which of those 3 pitchers you would like, we posted it on the Dodgers Nation Twitter earlier today. You know, which of the starting pitchers would fans most like? They had the choice. Which would they most like to see in Dodger blue before the deadline? It's actually a pretty decent race right now. Over 1,000 votes posted a couple hours ago, but so there's still time to vote. You know, let your voice be heard there. So far, Giolito's got the slight lead, 46.7% as of the time we are live. Marcus Stroman is actually second. Not much love for Jack Flaherty. And, you know, Noah and I were talking before the show. I'm less on Flaherty because we already got enough tight pants, dude. Walker's coming back at some point. You got B-milled. You're good. No more tight pants.
So who would you pick then, Giolito or Stroman?
I go Giolito.
Giolito? Yeah. I think Giolito striking out over a quarter of the batters he's faced. The K rate down for Stroman. I think the biggest thing for me in that is that I think my read on the situation, my gut instinct is that there's no way that if they're trading for Giolito, you're going to see a deal where it's a few prospects going that way and just Giolito. They will find a way to get a couple of relievers, to get possibly a Tim Anderson.
That's the thing. Like
and that's to me. They have the better package.
That White Sox, and I think we're going to talk more trades in a little while, but that White Sox team, it's just like, it's a kid in a candy store if things go the way Dodger fans hope. But let's move on real quick. Dodgers trade for a pitcher, something Miller, Tyson, Tyler, whatever the hell he is. Don't ever expect to see this human man for your team. Most likely he is AAA depth because so many guys. The Dodgers were so hurt limping into the trade debt or limping into the All-Star break. The AAA Dodgers, the OKC Dodgers, literally had to have a position player pitch because they didn't have any pitchers. They ran out of pitchers. The Dodgers had, guys like Gavin Stone on taxi, Nick or the other kid. I can't think of the damn name
Robertson?
right now. No, it wasn't because Robertson was up, but the other one,
Tanner Scott,
that was not the AA guy who got called up to AAA with
Mastrini, Frasso.
Landon Knack.
Okay.
On taxi. And sorry, man, the words are hard. Hey, at least
I've heard. You know what's funny?
How long did it take me to learn Michael Grove? And I've been nailing that.
People
all
have been telling me.
long.
It's funny. I had someone tell me that a scout guy told me that Landon Knack is basically the minor league Lucas Giolito. So there you go.
A scout guy. You guys heard it. Hey, use that in your articles, guys.
Talking guy, a scout guy.
Go
to a bar.
A scout guy. All right. The other good news, great news today. Ryan Pepio on the mend, on the bump at AAA OKC. We may or may not have had some insider information from places that we will not say that he was real close to getting off a mound, or at least really close to throwing. We were not made aware that he was that close to throwing, but this is your best friend, man.
Is it Clint Pacius or Clint Passon?
This is your rookie of the year pick.
Just trying to raise him up, right?
Is that the right word?
Just
ostensibly 3 weeks away from starting major league games. What does the Pepio thing mean to you here? How important is that for this club?
I think first and foremost, anytime you have an oblique injury, you kind of lose sight of those players because you never know what the timetable is. It could be later in the year. You just really never know when they're going to be back on the mound and healthy enough to pitch. And I think, look, Ryan Pepio, before we were talking about Gavin Stone's changeup, we were talking about Ryan Pepio's changeup. And his is a little more east and west. And for him, it's about fastball command. I think that people forget that he was having a very solid spring, and he won that job. He earned that spot in the Dodgers rotation. Yeah. So anytime you have a guy that earned a spot in the Dodgers rotation to start the year, you have to feel like, hey, there is potential there. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to be optimistic about Pepio to get some Pepio and his Stepio out on the mound. And, hey, it's never too late to win that Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah, I mean,
is it too late? It's
probably.
Too late. So, yeah,
I mean,
you can't catch Corbin Carroll and the likes of that. But I'm just totally messing around.
Who is your Roy? Is it Corbin Carroll or is it Ellie? Because De La Cruz he is spicy right now.
I will say, I talk about Ellie and I start getting goosebumps, man. I'm not going to lie. The way he stole home, I've seen that. There's like 1 million views of that on YouTube. I'm responsible for like 600,000 of them. I'm telling you, the way.
Why does he say things like this?
Oh,
no, this is like when he told
I didn't know what I'm doing.
When you told Outman that you've watched his like high school career video.
I mean, you're talking about something that never happens.
Hey,
this
guys, thumbs up for D-Mac. I'm just telling you, he is a character.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, so I think it's a really interesting debate because Ellie De La Cruz looks like a guy who isn't a star. I'm a small superstar guy, whereas I don't throw out that label unless you have something that transcends. You talking about Trey Turner, star, not superstar, right? Yeah. He has that extra superstar stats, that certain je ne sais quoi. And I do think, though, Corbin Carroll also has that in spades, too. You're talking about a guy that's fast. De La Cruz, he's actually number one. He's already the fastest guy in the league. You get a speed ticket running in a school zone. So, yeah, definitely a guy that I would love to see win the Rookie of the Year, but Corbin Carroll had so much production for the first couple months of the season. Yeah. I still think he gets it.
Yeah, is it going to be who is the hot headline right now, or who is it going to be the guy that's been there the longest and has essentially helped put the Diamondbacks on the map a year or two early? Because he's been so good. I saw another comment here before we switch gears. DKM popping in. I don't even know. I was probably listening or not. Maybe you read it. Maybe you didn't. But I saw it says, our boy DKM says, hey, D-Mac, Clint, Noah, and Cody.
Yes,
I told D-Mac this before, but I want you four to say it's time for Dodger baseball at Dodger Stadium one day.
All right, ready?
Just for
that'd
me.
be awesome.
We'll do it right now. We'll do it right now. Ready? I'll count us
There's
down.
a countdown.
God damn, man.
Whoa. Language.
Damn, man.
Thank you. All right. You count us in.
Yeah, I'll count us in. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening.
Clip that and put it on. Clip that.
Clip that. Somebody cut that.
Somebody got it.
Spencer. Oh, he's gone.
Well, yeah, I will say just real quick on the Corbin Carroll.
Oh, shit.
That was unexpected.
Sorry, Doug.
No, I just will say,
go ahead.
Ryan Pepio has his work cut out for him because Corbin Carroll, 144 weighted runs created plus, 18 home runs, almost at 4 WAR. He's going to run away with that award, even though Ellie De La Cruz is a fantastic superstar, one of the faces of the game in the future, in my opinion.
Yes.
Man, I love this show because this kind of turned into an all-baseball show.
Well, we have a super chat from Seth Gerbil. Shout out to you, Seth Gerbil.
Woo!
D-Mac put all his money in the Ohtani fund and forgot to pay the internet bills. Shake my head. With that said, if we miss out on Ohtani, do we go all in for JD? JD Martinez?
Which JD?
We already got him, brother.
Was there another? Was there a pitcher JD? I guess just bringing JD back and as the DH.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I feel like
we could do that.
I'm up here, by the way, guys.
Oh, sorry.
I feel like JD's kind of a one and done. Like, he's been great, but I feel like one thing that has kind of hurt this team is that lack of flexibility, for sure. The versatility of having that position and moving guys off or whatever. Love JD. I don't know if
maybe
he's
he meant
the future.
Josh Donaldson. I don't know. I mean, no, but yeah, no.
Barf. Give me Matt Chapman all day, baby. All right, let's move on.
That'd be pretty interesting, in all honesty, if they struck out on
it's all baseball show
on Ohtani for sure.
How about them Jays, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I really do think that if you ask me who's going to play better defense for the next 10 years, and I have to pick between Arenado and Chapman at this stage of their career, Chapman being a few years younger, I actually would take Chapman.
You heard it here first, folks.
I can't act like it means anything.
That was correct. Yeah. Seth clarified that he said it was bring back JD as a DH.
No, I mean, I think I definitely think that.
By the way, did we get any reactions? Like, how was our time for Dodger baseball? Because I felt pretty close on my Vinny there. Like I've had a good Vin in my.
So
in the
after we
past.
said it, Joe Mama said recorded. Joe Mama send us that.
Thank you, Joe Mama.
DKM said you'll kill it at the stadium. Thank you. Gary A wasn't a fan though. He said never do that again.
Thank you, Gary A.
And then Emar said thumbs up. Joe Mama said gonna be a good meme, as the kids would say.
It was a little gainy. Like I felt the peak in the ears. But
Should we do it one more time, guys?
No, we're gonna. We were also asked to never do it again.
And we got to throw out the first pitch too. And I want Will Smith to catch me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna blow out my shoulder, and you're gonna blow out your knee, and it's gonna be like old time. Well, both of our backs are already. Wait, I can't. You shouldn't say blow out my back, right? That's not, you're not supposed to say that.
Pause.
Doug, let's move on. All right, quickly. Let's touch
Bro.
before we talk about the first half and just kind of recap things, and let's all work together to come up with some grades and pick a first half MVP as a family. The All-Star game happened. There's a lot of Ohtani talk out of the All-Star game. We kind of already touched on Ohtani a little bit, but All-Star game thoughts for you. I don't. Did you watch much of the game? And I know this was. I think they said the lowest rated All-Star game.
Yeah, like 7 million. There's like a direct TV issue apparently that contributed to that. But yeah, I mean the ratings were down. 7 million people watched it.
Even whatever. Like it's not for everybody. It was fun. It was fine. I walked out, in like the 6th inning because I had things to do with my life, like not sit there and watch it. But it was entertaining, and we went to the All-Star game last year. That was a good time. 3 of us were there. All-Star game to me, like in watching it this year, this first year I've heard Joe Davis on the call, second year he's been doing it. The All-Star game is a TV event. Like as fun as it was, and we'll go back and thank Boss Man for sending us last year to the All-Star game. That was cool of him to send the staff to the All-Star game. Got some coverage there. Got to see Clayton Kershaw, pitch the first inning, strike out or pick off Shohei Ohtani and all that. But after like the pomp and circumstance of Kershaw coming out of the game, it's like I'm not rooting for either of these teams, and we don't get to hear any of the in-ear interviews and all that kind of stuff. Like Freddie and Mookie, that was fun. That was awesome.
I really like that. I think you said it best. I mean, the pomp and circumstance that gets you hype. I mean,
I said it the right way, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, no,
he said pomp 'em.
No, pomp and.
I got you.
Pomp
I
and
could have let you run.
Circumstance. And look, I think, to me, nothing will ever top last year being at Dodger Stadium, seeing Clayton Kershaw warm up, showing him in the bullpen warming up, and then his at-bat with Shohei Ohtani, this exchange there. Nothing's really going to top that. As far as the game, I've said it on this show before. I hate to be Dougie Downer when it comes to the All-Star game, but I would watch the 2 worst teams in a spring training game in Major League Baseball and be more into it than the All-Star game.
Wow.
Just because I need it to be at stake. I watch every game like it's a World Series game for the Dodgers, right? I need it to count. I need it to mean something.
Spring training games don't count. They don't take home an actual
because I'm thinking, who's trending this
trophy.
way? Who's trending that way? If Vargas hits a hit, there's certain
hiccups
ways
from that bad take.
But no, I mean, look, I probably watch thousands of games a year. That's the one that I'm not that invested in. But I will say, my biggest takeaway, hate to do this, but it is my biggest takeaway, is Shohei Ohtani. The star power of Shohei Ohtani is my biggest takeaway. It almost, it's all one back in the day. They always say how you measure your star power is if Michael Jackson is in a room or you're a celebrity and Michael Jackson walks in, everyone goes towards Michael Jackson. He's really the Michael Jackson of Major League Baseball, where you can be a big celebrity, but you can sit courtside and you're not going to cause a scene. I mean, when Michael Jackson was at a Laker game, they had to stop the game because of how crazy the fans are going. And just the charisma, the magnetism, just the star power that he has, it's just going to be so big for baseball. I think as baseball fans, I mean, I count my lucky stars every day that we live in an era where we get to see Shohei Ohtani in the peak of his powers. And baseball, the NBA is so popular. The NFL is so popular. Soccer is so popular globally. Even cricket, even pickleball is growing. But Major League Baseball has the best athlete on the planet, bar none in my opinion. There really is no close second. We're talking about a guy who could win the AL MVP just as a hitter. If you took his statistics as a hitter, he would win the AL MVP. Oh, but then he's an elite pitcher. Oh, he's a guy that is an ace on the mound. So it's still incomprehensible. I never get over the fact, but I also just love the picture with Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman at first. I love Freddie's interactions, his one with Randy Arozarena and kind of talking. And I just kind of love the camaraderie of it all. And I'm kind of talking myself into, I think I like the All-Star game more than I realized. It's kind of my point here.
I guess this was therapy, or I don't know. We just talked through our problems together.
Yes, it was. I like the throw from Arozarena was big. How about
the first inning was insane with the two incredible catches, flanking in the corners in the outfield.
Yeah, those catches were phenomenal.
You got Adolis Garcia almost dying because of the sun.
Yeah.
And then Randy doing Randy things, making a play, giving them the pose.
I love that.
Yeah, it was
You
fun.
like his hair, though?
Cool.
Would you rock the hair?
Nah.
Yeah. 9 Cuban players. That was a record. 9 Cuban All-Stars.
I'm
so
a
that was
hat
cool.
guy. And way too many Texas Rangers.
A lot of Texas Rangers did feel like they were very well represented, but we have to talk about how the game ended. Craig Kimbrell, of course, he gets demoted as the Dodgers closer.
Yeah.
He goes Craig Kimbrell, doesn't make the postseason roster, makes the All-Star team, gets that save. I felt pretty happy for the guy, I have to admit.
Let's also note the NL manager was his manager.
Good point.
That helps for him to get that
really good point.
That last inning. But it was cool to see Craig Kimbrell throwing to Will Smith, Willie catching the final pitch for the strikeout.
We'll never let it go.
That was cool. It was fun, and honestly, it made that final inning pretty exciting. Like to get to Julio. I did love Kimbrell's post game interview where he was like, I had to step back because it was kind of like I got chills from the home crowd chanting Julio and all that when J-Rod came up with as the winning run for the AL team. So that was pretty cool. There was a lot of really good moments in there. It probably should be a shorter game. Like you also you wish they would have tied it up so it could have gone to the home run derby.
I want to see J-Rod hit a bomb.
Maybe it should just be like a 6-inning game and a home run derby to
don't get me started on that home run derby, man.
You're not in?
The camera work was atrocious. You can't see it.
That derby? No, that derby was whack. They might have had our internet. There was just some technical issues there.
Bring back Chris Berman. I want to see the balls go out.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso needs to quit. He's like the Nate Robinson now. Just join the dunk contest every year. I think Pete Alonso needs to stop doing the home run derby.
Yeah,
but
you would like to see more like real big time superstars in that. But superstars, you already talked about it. Shohei Ohtani. There's a lot of Ohtani talk. Maybe a little bit of Ohtani collusion in there.
Shohei Ohtani. That's what I saw.
As this guy called it. And I know you have some more thoughts on Shohei before it becomes. I don't know if we're going to cut this and drop it on the YouTube. If we're going to do a full Shohei latest, This guy does have an interview coming out with Angels beat writer Sam Blum of the Athletic, talking some Shohei with Blum. And I know today, Ohtani was, I guess, a huge topic for Buster Olney on the television set where the Yankees are apparently in. Just run on. I'm not here. You just talk Shohei to me. I want to know what's going on. I want
your thoughts. After for sure. I think my thoughts as far as the Yankees go is that is a Yankees team. They're desperate to win a World Series. It sounds crazy to think that a franchise that's won 27 World Series titles is desperate for one, but they haven't won one since 2009. Now, as far as Shohei Ohtani and the Yankees, look, if there's one team out there that's going to go and big and give up all their prospects, and maybe they go that route, would the Angels be happy with him going to an American League team? Look, at that point, if I'm the Angels, I'm saying I'd rather him go to a National League team. I'd rather him go to a team where we're not going to be facing him more. We're going to be competing with him in our own league. So there's that. I just don't know. Look, the reality is, kind of my big takeaway from my interview with Sam Blum is, this guy he's in the Athletic. He's around them every single day. And really, it feels like he didn't know as much as the next guy as far as the inside information, as far as where he's going, who's going to sign with. It's a mystery to everyone in Major League Baseball. So even Buster Olney, who's on this show, I have tons of respect for. Like I say, it was like my third person I ever followed on Twitter back in the day, right? And I just think that you just never know what's going to happen with this guy. And if you're Shohei Ohtani, is he comfortable in New York? The first time he doesn't go 5 for 5 and have 12 strikeouts, he's going to get booed, right? So there's that. And this, what? Oh, yeah, exactly. Did I tweet that? Okay, sorry. I didn't even realize that. But, yeah,
So this guy tweet takes.
But, look, I do think, though, it really kind of my just general thoughts on Shohei is as we get closer and closer to the deadline, would the Angels make the catastrophic mistake of letting a player of his magnitude get away and get just a compensation pick if he's not going to re-sign with him? I just don't think it makes sense for them. If I was an Angels fan, a lot of Angels fans, they kind of hate the fact that I always say he's going to be a Dodger and this and that. But if I'm an Angels fan, I'm yelling at my organization saying, okay, I want to think about my team long term. He's not signing with us. We need to get prospects. We need to replenish his farm system any way we can. Yes, it's going to be $1 tickets on Game Time at for the last 2 months of the season. But if you're truly thinking big picture, if he's not going to sign, you got to move him.
Yeah, they're not going to trade him. It's not what insiders have said, what the pundits have said, what the people who with the best knowledge of the Angels thinking, Artie Moreno's thinking, of which there are few because Artie Moreno is very hard to get to, very reclusive owner. He doesn't want to be the guy that trades away the best player in baseball, possibly in baseball history. He's not going to be known as the guy that traded that guy away. They're going to throw everything they can at this. Angels are in an interesting spot. I think 6.5, 8 games back in the AL West. They've got injuries on injuries, man. That team has just kept falling apart. But they're getting some dudes back, and I think they're going to find a way to be in the hunt. And if they can eke into a wild card spot through all the turmoil, the injuries, losing Mike Trout to a hamate injury, he'll be back in about a month or whatever. Rendon, one of the most egregious albatross contracts of all time. Apparently, don't sign any 2019 Washington Nationals because they're just going to rob you of all of your money. If the Angels can find a way to sneak in to a postseason spot, I feel it, and I've had this question asked me a couple times. Where is Shohei going? And do you want the boring take, which is what I feel? He's staying in Anaheim.
I would tend to agree with you. I would say there's less than a 5% chance.
As free agency as well. He's not
you think
getting
he's gonna
traded.
Stay in Anaheim?
He's not getting traded, and he is re-signing with that team. Whether they work out an extension or something like that, but
that'd be so catastrophic for baseball. I just want to point that out.
Probably, I agree, but
they've lost 9 of their last 10 games.
Artie has a way with some of these people, man.
When he was in high school, he wrote a list down, and he said, by age 26, I want to win the World Series. He's 29.
Yeah.
He needs to win a World Series. He's not going to do that with the Angels. I even asked Sam Blum. That's one thing I asked him yesterday. I said, when you look at the trending, where this organization is trending as far as building a contender, how close are they to being legitimate World Series contenders? I think Perry Moniason focusing on pitching has definitely been good. I think Perry Moniason has been good for that organization, but there's still too many pieces away to be legitimate contenders. This happens every year. They were hot during June. In June, they were good. They won 11 of 14 games at one point. They were 8
also
games
healthy.
Above 500, and they were healthy. And yes, they've been decimated by injuries.
They changed
Drury
things around.
And Neto and
Drury
Urshela.
is having a really good season. Neto is a rookie and has been one of the better shortstops. Welcome to Angels Talk. By the way, follow us on HalosToday.com, part of the Sports Illustrated network of sites. There's a lot of good things about that team when they're healthy.
Travis d'Arnaud played more games with the Dodgers than Rendon's played with the Angels. I'm pretty sure. I don't need to look that up to know that. And Duffy has played more games with the Dodgers than Rendon.
If that's not true. That's not true. Hey,
Colin was wrong.
You bring your facts to the where Colin is wrong. All right,
You're Doug. Stop trying to copy people.
Anyway,
God.
But again, that's my boring take. That's just what I feel is going to happen. However,
did you hear this though?
If they don't find a way to sneak into that third wild card spot or just get sniffed somewhere close to the postseason, there's a reality where he's a Yankee, he's a Padre, or he is a Los Angeles Dodger.
Yeah, all those are the big teams. All those are the heavy hitters.
It's so hard to see the Dodgers spending more than
this is the one guy. One thing I want to ask you: did you hear about how he spends his summers in Seattle? He spends all of his summers in Seattle.
Hey, what do you do in your off seasons? How do you spend your off seasons?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Wish I had gotten that one in. But, yeah, look, but this is the thing about, you talk about the Dodgers, right? Hey, this is the one guy that you might actually make profit from. This is a guy where $500 million could mean $1 billion, where $600 million could mean $1.2 billion. This is the one guy who will get sponsorship, jersey sales, television ratings. This guy is going to be a rock star. So I think the Dodgers, they're smart. They don't just throw out money to every single player they want. They only do it when they think it makes sense. Mookie makes sense. He's the top jersey seller. He's a guy that's an iconic player that's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Dodger, wearing that Dodger blue hat. Freddie Freeman, perfect contract situation. He falls in their lap. So it's not like they're going the Mets around just saying, oh, this money's bringing home my pocket. Give me Max Scherzer. Give me the Verlander. Give me the Ace RP. No, it's not going that route. They are only doing it when it makes sense for them. And this organization, if they sign Shohei Ohtani, if they make that move, they're doing it because, one, they think he can help them win now. Two, it's because they think they can profit off him.
Yeah, no, he is. He is definitely by far the most marketable player. I don't know if Dodger Stadium can handle 81 home games, like the press box of Shohei being a.
I'll never
like
get
a
approved
Dodger.
again.
Yeah, we're definitely never getting in there. Cody, I'm gonna need you to give me some comments here. Get some thoughts on Ohtani. There's probably some Pepio stuff in there, but let's really focus on the Ohtani stuff. I'm sure I've made some folks upset.
Emar says Shohei loves everyone, but he loves Mookie the most.
Yeah,
That is
exactly.
true.
So impressed by Mookie Betts.
You know, hey, what like it keeps happening with Dodgers players, and like, you know, obviously there was a Machado thing, but there was the Mookie
Shohei Ohtani.
Anyways, I really explained that well. It's gonna.
Roy Estrada said Ohtani made it clear he wants to win. He said during All-Star Week he is tired of losing. Don't see him staying with the Angels. Mike Bitt said if he stays with Anaheim, is he kissing away all of his chances winning a title? The Lithium Dodgers said re-signing with the Angels, he isn't brain dead.
I'm telling you, I was in that stadium, in that ballpark. It didn't feel big enough. It did not feel big enough with Ohtani in that ballpark. It just didn't feel big enough. Remember when everyone knew LeBron James was going to be a Laker? Everyone knew it. It was no secret that when he was done in Cleveland, he was going to end up in L.A. I get those same feelings for Shohei Ohtani. At the very least, I don't think he's going to sign with the Angels, but nothing would surprise me because you also have to consider his loyalty, right? And of course, if that's the case, maybe he goes to Epler, who's running the Mets. So I think that's also in play as well. But yeah, I mean, we can also talk about this all day, so we'll move on, I guess.
Ohtani Network. Whoa!
Yes, sir.
We're going to have Noah run through the back. This take is actually this is an Ohtani take. Angel Villalobos said, me personally, I think Ohtani will sign with the Dodgers because LA is closer to Japan than New York is.
I mean, there's always been a lot of chatter. That was definitely a factor when he originally signed with the Angels. But hey, I mean, he spends his summers in Seattle apparently, so he likes the West Coast.
And then since we're already here with some super chats,
Imagine that short porch in New York, though. Ooh.
Joshua Altamirano said, by sending Vargas down, it shows they want it this year, and this team is too special for it to go to waste, and this team is a few trades away from a really special year. Let's go Dodgers. Then Seth Kerbel said the Derby pitchers, you guys were talking about the All-Star game a little bit earlier. He said the Derby pitchers this year were prime Randy Johnson.
I mean, it's like what JD Martinez was saying about Mookie Betts is he has the barrel accuracy. He needs a 90-mile-per-hour heater to get over the fence. But I like this one from DCam. Do you guys see what he said? Chant with me. Shohei. 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 Shohei.
Really gainy. Really gainy. Joshua, Angel, Seth, appreciate the super chats. Appreciate everybody's super chats. I always say, it's your show. Doug's just hosting.
Yes, sir.
Moving on, Doug. The first half of the baseball season is come and gone. It's probably about time to hand out some grades and talk big takeaways. So I'm going to let you guide us through this wonderful journey here in the second half of our show.
Yeah, I mean, I think
not half because we're getting close to
start
ending,
with a positive. Well, let's start with the negative. Actually, start with the negative.
I love the
and
negatives.
work our way back. So if you look at the pitching side, this is not the Dodgers that we know and love. This is not a team that's bringing out the pitchers and excelling, give you quality starts every time you get back out there on the mound. And look, this is an organization since 1958, since they came to Los Angeles, they have a 3.45 ERA. That's first in all of Major League Baseball. So statistically, the Dodgers have had the best pitching since they put on that Dodger blue in LA. That hasn't been the case this season. A 4.5 ERA, that's 23rd. A 4.19 FIP, that's 15th. 4.17 expected FIP, that's 17th. Opponent's batting average at 244, that's 19th. But the one that scares me, the red flag for me, is 445 innings pitched. That's 25th in Major League Baseball. 25 out of 30 teams. Last year, for comparison's sake, they were 11. So you're not getting those quality starts. Outside of Clayton Kershaw, who put this team on his back, he's on the IL now. You really had no consistency. You had Tony Gonsolin underperformed. Julio Urias underperformed. He dealt injuries. So did Tony Gonsolin. The young guys, the youth movement, you had a great first 4 starts from Bobby Miller, 0.78 ERA. Really nice few starts from Emmett Sheehan. Gavin Stone didn't realize his potential this year. He hasn't worked out. He hasn't looked like the guy that was the Dodgers minor league pitcher of the year last year. Michael Grove's done what he can. And look, Noah Syndergaard has been a bust. I mean, there's just no way to sugarcoat that. He's been bad. We'll see if he gets another opportunity. They were banking on that. Pepio was injured. So all in all, I'm going to give the grade for this team as far as pitching. I got to give the starting pitching a C minus. In the bullpen, a D. So that's where I'm at.
I would stay right in that category. Honestly, the bullpen is it's been better over the last couple of months. It's figured it out, but the bullpen struggles have been. Well, it was partly, they admitted. I think it was Evan Phillips talking about it. It's like, hey, we didn't have that veteran dog this year, and they had to learn how to grow up and be men together without somebody like a Dan Hudson, David Price, and I think we talked about this last week too. And they did. They put it together. They put the pieces together. They've kind of had some guys coming in, coming out, and they've assembled a decent unit, but also they've settled into their roles because we're not seeing EP come in, pitch in the 5th, 6th inning anymore. But the fact that we were at any point shows you how bad the starting pitching has been. And yeah, it's mostly injury driven. You losing Dustin May, that was a devastating blow. Noah Syndergaard, we figured he wouldn't be great, but he wouldn't be this bad. So if we're grading it that way, if we're splitting it, I think a C+ for the bullpen, and a C for the starting pitching, and most of that, even getting that high, is kind of from Clayton Kershaw, because he's just been the guy. He's been the only guy this team can rely on. So C- or C+, and a C. It gets to getting degrees. That's
the thing. I mean, C, I look at as average. I feel like they've been a below average bullpen. And yes, Evan Phillips, he should have been the all-star. He should have made that team. He should have been up in Seattle. 2.55 ERA, 294 FIP, K percentage almost at 32%. But outside of that, look, if this is an album, there's a lot of skips, right? There's a lot of skips on that album.
Yeah.
He's the hit single. Brewstar's had some moments, but for the most part, this bullpen, I think it's not just the lack of performance, it's how they perform. You're not seeing them miss bats in key situations. I think that the restricted shift has hurt them. More balls in play. The opponent's batting average is higher. The BABIP is higher. And
it's not a championship bullpen. This is not one you want in the postseason for sure. So they need help. But to get through the first half, it's passable.
Yeah, then get extra credit. Then get some new kids join the school midway through the school. Get some new talent. That's where the only way I think they're going to go and be above average. I don't think it's a situation where you study hard and you hit the books and you get a tutor and that sort of thing, and then you become average or better. No, you got to get some new students, and I think they're going to do that at the break.
Cool. Moving on.
Moving on. We're talking about the offense. So the offense, they've been awesome. The offense has been fantastic, really across the board, led by Mookie Betts, led by Freddie Freeman. Will Smith's continued to emerge. JD Martinez, he's exceeded expectations. He's been the best designated hitter in this league, not named Shohei Ohtani. So, yeah, he's been phenomenal. I think you got to give them an A. I think you got summa cum laude, Phi Theta Kappa, honor roll, principles list. I'm giving him an A.
I mean, if you're looking, if you're disregarding the month of April, where they were very hit and miss, but also pretty bad. They lived on Max Muncy's hot streak of the season, and of course Freddie doing Freddie things. Mookie was bad. Was not bad, but he was off.
He was slumping early for sure.
Will was on fire, but he also missed most of the month with that concussion. April, if let's take away April, it's been a much better offense. However, there have still been, for 2.5 months then, without April, 2.5 months where you've seen lineups have Austin Barnes, Miguel Vargas, Miguel Rojas, and the other guy I don't like, who I'm saying, whatever. I mean, let's just say James Outman amid a struggle or whatever. You have 4 guys hitting under 250 in that lineup. One guy hitting under 100. That's rough, and that brings down the whole grading curve in my assessment. However, when you have guys like Hayward, Peralta, Freddie, and then what Mookie Betts has done really since taking off in May, I think he's hitting like over 357. He's been insane. He's been, and obviously this last stretch of two weeks of games, you're seeing what MVP Mookie looks like, and we got a little taste of it in 20, but Apple Watch 2018 Mookie, we're kind of getting that guy right now, and the watch is off. B+ is my grade.
That's fair. I'm not mad at that grade at all. I think you definitely pointed out their deficiencies. In the bottom of the lineup, they have been inconsistent. They did rely heavily on the top of that lineup during certain spurts. And I think David Peralta, he's another guy that's come on late after starting the year slow. Talking about a guy, OPS over 1,000 the last month. The guy last month
2
had
months, really?
Well, yeah. Then
Peralta's
the month
been-
before that had 2 months really when it comes to
Yeah.
overall production. But I still think though, overall production from the start of the year to the break, the way they've carried this team, you know that meme where the guy has the big JanSport backpack that's like life size? That was this Dodgers offense, just putting this team on their back. And I think this offense is better than last year. And the numbers sort of bear that out. I mean, weighted runs created plus, they have a 113. That's fourth, so 13% above league average. Last year, a 119 weighted runs created plus. But home runs, 149 home runs, that's second behind the Braves. That's 1.67 home runs per game. Last year, 1.3 home runs per game. So better this year. Last year, 834 OPS with runners in scoring position. Last year, they had 824 OPS. So better this year, better with 2 outs, better against left-handed pitching.
two
So
out, yeah,
the
2 out
2 outs and
production.
runners in scoring position,
And
definitely.
thank God we have Jake Marisnick now.
Yeah, I think if you want to spot the pimple on a model with this offense, you got to point to the fact that almost 53% of their runs have been generated from the home run ball. That's surpassed the Braves.
Hey, hold on, wait. Hey, Cody, did you know that if you want the dub, you got to slug?
Yeah.
If you want the dub, you gotta slug.
If you outslug your opponents, you win at an 80% clip.
That's the PG version of if you don't know the facts.
You gotta F the stuff.
What?
Nailed the quote.
You
So,
gotta shut the
hold on, wait, because that sounded to me like you were kind of viewing the over reliance on home runs as a problem, but you're saying they need to hit the home runs to win. I mean, yeah, I guess if that's the only thing you
But
have
that's
the
why
reliance
I think
upon.
if you're gonna add a bat, I think a guy that has some bat to ball, a guy you can trust down the lineup. I love what I've seen from David Peralta. I think he helps that kind of supplement that at the bottom of the order. I think Will Smith, JD Martinez, a lot of talented hitters. Freddie Freeman's not a
Yeah.
guy that's looking to slug, but the reality is, when they out-homer their opponents, they win games. When they don't, they usually lose. But you know in the postseason, you're going to be facing elite pitchers. You're not going to be able to hit 2 home runs and 4 doubles a night. You have to have those clubs in your bag, and that is my one concern. That's why you definitely want to bolster the bottom of that lineup. So when Chris Taylor comes back, a guy that's very boomer buzz, very streaky, I mean, there's some issues there, and you're going to need some guys to perform. But that's why I like the direction that this organization is going in. You know, I love me some Mickey Vargas, but they know they need some trusted veteran hitters, and I think they're going to do just that.
Best case scenario, if they are acquiring a bat that is a difference maker bat, they find somebody that will allow them to move Max Muncy down into the 6 or 7 hole, because he's not a cleanup hitter right now. And if he does come on and he's batting 6th or 7th, cool. Then you have production down in the middle, the latter middle of the lineup, and more dubs, more slugs, more World Series champions.
I agree with that, but don't you think that this lineup, this current iteration, when they're all at their best, it is when Max Muncy is batting cleanup, but actually hitting home runs, getting on base. I mean, the walks are still there, but you want to get the power numbers there.
This lineup at its best revolves around Mookie Betts, but Max can carry a team leaps and bounds better than most on this club for sure. Anyways,
Great point.
So we've gone through pitching, we've gone through hitting, we have our grades out there. What else are we grading today? Mr. Mac_LA.
Well, I think let's get into the MVP. My first half MVP, I got to go with Clayton Kershaw. Even though I think Mookie Betts can catch Ronald Acuna Jr. in the second half and actually win league MVP, this team would be in big trouble if it weren't for Clayton Kershaw in the first half. One of the better pitchers in the league. You're talking about solid start after solid start, really turning back the clock, vintage Kershaw performances. If it weren't for that shoulder injury, he would have been in the conversation to start the All-Star game for the second consecutive year. This team might be 4 or 5 games back without Kersh.
It's a good pick. It's not the wrong pick, that's for sure. Anytime you could pick Clayton Kershaw and it's the right move, or it's not going to. It's not a legacy pick, because this is a dude who literally put his pitching staff on his back. We have a poll out there. I'll get to the poll results. For me, it's Freddie Freeman. This is a guy, and yeah, I'm probably in the minority about it, but he's been the one consistent thread throughout the season of being just damn good at keeping the line moving. And when he's not, he's still finding ways to win. These dudes out here stealing bags now. You know, he's no Ronald Acuna, but he's somewhere close. No, he's not. But he also has been, I think, slept on as a clubhouse bridge. He got asked probably more than anybody this past offseason about Justin Turner's gone. Who's the new voice? Who's the new clubhouse leader? He took it. He took it and ran with it. And that's where I think you are seeing the best Dodger clubhouse that you've seen in your time covering the team, going in the locker room, seeing these dudes. We've been to spring training. We know how they kind of operate, but Freddie is the man, and he bridged the new guys coming in there, getting Jay Hay, who proved out to be the right call to add this dude, but it didn't put it on Mookie, and it let Mookie go out and put together this incredible season that is going to get him at least a 2 in the MVP voting. But it's Freddie. Freddie is the man, and it's more than just what he does on the field. By the way, what he does on the field, really effing good.
No, I think it's a fantastic pick. I think it's a great point about him being the team leader in that clubhouse. And he has just a ability to connect with so many guys. I mean, for his road trip pick, he went with Miguel Rojas, right? I mean, just the fact that he goes Miggy Ro because he plays music, he likes the way he dresses. I think he's a guy that he can go up to different groups of this clubhouse and make connections. And I think, too, it's the routine. It's a lead by example. My favorite thing about Freddie Freeman, I think I was there for a game where we went 0 for 4. He had a rough night. He was going through a really rough stretch. And like, what are you going to do differently? He's like, I'm going to do exactly the same thing I do when I'm on a hot streak. He does the exact same thing. His routine is down to a T. He doesn't try to hit home runs. He goes to all fields. His approach is always consistent. And I want to point out, too, that if you look at his numbers this year, a 155 weighted runs created plus, last year 157 weighted runs created plus. For a full regular season, that's better than any year he had in Atlanta, save for that 2020 MVP season. So even at this current age where some people thought a decline was coming, some people thought that, hey, he was going to fall out of his prime, he is still peak Freddie Freeman. And I think, too, hey, what does Mookie always say? I see a lot of strikes because Freddie Freeman is batting right behind me. So I love that pick, the stability. Yeah, Mookie's going to have his ups and downs, especially with the power numbers. We're talking about a guy with 26 bombs on pace at 47. But I love the consistency. I will say, have you seen Corey Seager's numbers this year? Because, my goodness. But still.
Man, to have a world where both Freddie Freeman and Corey Seager were on this team.
Jesus.
You know, there is going to be a point in time that we're going to look at Corey Seager in the same light that we look at Adrian Beltre. And that sucks. As longtime Dodger fans, that's painful. You know, the kids in the room, they don't know what I'm talking about. But that means something to old man McCain and I. By the way, fans on the Twitter machine, Mookie Betts. 62.2% of fans between Kershaw, Mookie, and Freddie. 62.2% say Mookie Betts was the first half MVP. And really, amongst those three, there isn't a wrong answer. There's absolutely not a wrong answer. So, there's your grades. Let's find some stuff. What do you got for me, Cody?
We'll ace the final. It's ace the final in the World Series.
Some stuff, or did I catch you at a bad time?
I like this comment. Can I read this one? John
Go
Palmer
ahead.
said,
Can you?
Shohei isn't.
May I?
Please. John Palmer says, Shohei isn't 40 yet, so the Mets are out.
But
That's pretty good.
I
That
did a manual take on that one.
That was also probably like 25 minutes ago. So
You know,
this is like a post game show.
And we got some currents.
Correct.
There's some people are agreeing with you, Clint. Freeman has been great. A lot of people are talking about Austin Barnes. I guess that's because you guys were talking about the grades for the lineups. A lot of people are saying trade. Craig Osterberg said trade Barnes for a backstop. Backstop will hit.
Bag of balls, a better parking space.
Okay. Joe Mama said King Kirsch. Sarah Morris said Barnes' job is to catch. Victor Fuentes said, should the Dodgers trade Miguel Vargas?
Why would you trade when his stock is low?
All right. Hey, no need to get defensive.
I'm just saying.
I was just reading the
That's not
comment.
good
I was
business.
just
That's not
reading
good
the
business.
comment. I was reading the comment.
I want to have a break. I don't want to break up. Okay, with Mickey Varg.
A lot of people are talking
Too many
about
relationship metaphors with him and me. I got to stop doing that, brother.
Yeah, it's getting a little worrisome.
All right.
a lot of people are talking about Austin Barnes. Sarah Morris again said
How did you
hitting
get to
is hit because you guys were talking about the lineup.
Yeah, that's fair.
I said he was hitting under 100.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I mean-
Sarah Morris said hitting is a B. The only reason I give them that low is Vargas, Outman, Rojas, Muncy, and Barnes. Javier Sala said, why can't they send down Barnes and call up Cartaya? Michael Negretti said, breaking news, Dodgers trade Noah Syndergaard to Blue Heaven for D-Mac. Whoa!
Yes, sir.
Doug, you're going to the show.
Dodgers just won the trade deadline.
I'm going to early retirement. Let's go. Savannah Bananas, here we come.
It's going straight to the 60-day IL.
Better learn Korean, buddy.
He's got a bad
I'm
back.
going to the KBO.
He's got a bad back.
And
Exactly.
then just to kind of see it out, Sarah Moore said, I hated Corey to go. And Victor Fuentes said, D-Mac hated my question.
Is that?
D-Mac hated my question. I think that was the trade, Vargas.
Oh, no, I didn't hate your question. I love your question, man. Even
He
if we
loves all
disagree,
questions.
even if we disagree, it's all good. I totally get it, man.
I'm just here
Hey,
to
you never
bring the
know.
facts
But
to the fight.
I think the last thing we have here for this bit is what's the most important thing you want to see in the second half of the season for this team to go on a deep run? I'll start, and I think it starts with starting pitching. Yes, we can talk about the bullpen. Yes, we can talk about going out there and finding this year's Chris Martin. But if you're not getting length, if you're not getting quality and stability and consistency from this rotation, this team isn't going to get very far. And yes, you got to go out there and get a guy. I would love a Giolito, maybe a Stroman, maybe go bigger than that if a name becomes available. But still, I think the guys that we do have, they have to perform to their capabilities. You need to see Julio Urias pitch like a frontline guy. You need to see more consistency from Tony Gonsolin, not giving up home runs, not hanging that split chain. So across the board, you want that, and you also wish for health for Clayton Kershaw. Coming back, avoiding the IL. So number one thing is consistency in innings from that starting pitching.
For me, if I'm picking my one thing, it's health, and it ties into what you're saying. This team needs to get healthy. They need to figure out if Walker Buehler is going to be an option. That's something pretty damn important because is he going to be a reliever? Is he going to be a starter? He wants to be a starter. He's looking good in the videos he's throwing. Yeah, he's throwing to nobody really, but he's looking good while doing it. It's health. Pepio, it's got some pep in the stepio. He's not too far off. If he can be somebody that helps his team. Is Bobby Miller going to be something close to what we saw in the first 4 starts or more what we've seen in the last 6? Because that guy is not starting game 1 for me anymore. I guess I'm going into starting pitching, but it comes into it really is starting pitching, but it's the health because the health is going to supplement all of the problem areas.
Yeah, and we saw last season
pitching.
when you get past that deadline, you don't have the waivers. There's not the second wave to get players like we saw in the past. These kids probably don't know about that, but I mean, that's it. Once it's August 1st, that's it, right? So you got to make your moves. And if someone goes down, you need someone to step up. I kind of want to get to your point about Walker Buehler. Seeing those videos, if there's one guy, I'd be pessimistic about most players, especially from what we've seen in the last few years with the Duffys, with Cole Hamels, with Dustin May, with Blake Trine, the list goes on and on. If there is one guy that I think could return to the mound, it's Walker effing Buehler. I think the way he takes care of his body, the way it's his second Tommy John surgery, he knows what the process is like. I think there is a chance. I mean, September 1st, of course, we know what Doc said. That definitely is early, but I think Walker Buehler, I would not rule out at the end of the season him coming back and having some sort of impact. I think if he does come back, the command is always the toughest thing to get back when you get back on the mound, but I'm hoping for the electric 99, 98, 100-mile-per-hour Walker Buehler.
The good thing, it wasn't a long time. It was 2 months of a season where something was a little wrong, and it wasn't a torn UCL. It wasn't because of mechanics getting out of whack that led to an injury. It was freak bone growth that essentially shredded his UCL a little bit. And it changed some things, but he kind of had to pitch around some pain. But this isn't a guy that you need to completely rebuild. I trust Walker Buehler with a baseball in his hand more than I trust anybody in this room, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. But I mean, lots of baseball to be played, lots of moves to be made. I think this team has great momentum, and I think that, we're definitely going to peak at the right time versus last year. What did Freddie Freeman always say? We had a hot summer. We had a hot summer, but I think this is going to be a different year. I think this team is going to pace themselves out a little more, make those moves, and I'm feeling really good about the Dodgers. And kind of my record for the second half, I still think that this team is going to win. I mean, I can't go against my prediction. So right now, of course, the Dodgers sitting at 51-38. They're on pace to win 92 games. I predicted the Dodgers would go 97-65 to start the year. So I'm going to go 46-27. That's a 102-game win pace down the stretch. That is kind of high, especially when you look at their schedule, the 12th toughest in the league down the stretch. So that's going to be high, but I think this team can do it. So I'm going to go 46-27 down the stretch.
I didn't know we were doing predictions. I don't have numbers. I'm bad at math. I'm just going to say they're going to win a number of games. They're probably going to lose some games, and they're going to be in the postseason.
Do they win the division?
Whether it is...
Come on.
As long as they slug, they'll get the
as long as they slug, they're gonna get that dub.
That division. We get that division.
I mean, they're in the driver's seat right now by like 3 percentage points or whatever the hell it is. I think they can't. Sure, I'll give you a sure.
Let's go.
I will change my preseason pick, which I already should change it because it's not going to be the Padres. But hey, watch out for the Padres. They're going to have a really good second half. Put it here first, or you heard it here first, or something like that. Guys, that's it. We were going to talk strength of second half of the start of the season schedule or whatever, but it's going to be hard. That's it. That's all you needed to know. Go look at it. It's on the internet. We have the schedule on DodgersNation.com. Go check that out. There's also a lot of stuff there. So go visit us, DodgersNation.com. Go visit us inside the Dodgers.com. We got all your baseball. We got all your Dodgers angles covered. So that's cool. Subscribe to Blue Heaven. We are also an audio earhole podcast on the iTunes and all the spots where your podcasts live for free. Go there, check it out. Subscribe if you can. It means a lot to us. It means a lot more if you subscribe here, watching us. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Facebook, go over to YouTube. It's better. If you're watching on Twitch, hi, the two of you. We'll figure out Twitch a little bit better, but we appreciate you hanging out there. Twitch strong. Hey, man, Twitch has been wild for like the 5 years we've been doing this, 6 years we've been doing it.
Twitch goes hard.
It always stays like they're passionate, man. They're passionate. But subscribe, hit bell, notification, do all that thing. Download the Dodgers Nation app. I'm RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram. That guy's DMac_LA on the Twitter and Instagram. Hell, go follow at Noah Cameras on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Twitter and
Come into the frame.
And the threads. Give Cody a follow on the Twitter. That's KXDY_Lou_. Just no
underscore.
Noah
underscore.
Cameras, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
You like
Get
to
out,
baseball?
Noah.
That's what Noah looks like.
I
Thank you
know,
for hanging
guy.
out with us. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the super chats so much. We'll see you on Monday. Bye.